When a sick child needs to be hospitalized, it puts a strain on the whole family. That's why Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital has always been committed to keeping families together during a child's hospital stay.
At Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, we believe so much in partnering with our parents and our families to take care of the children that we are trying to heal. One of the things as we were building the new children's hospital that was so important is we did get family input, and we actually designed a room. We built it out to just a room of this is how big it's going to be, and we said, okay, how are we going to make it? Where are we going to put what? And essentially that allowed us to really make sure that the parents and the family were right next to the patient, obviously. And you may think that that just sounds, logical and it would happen, but you'd be surprised how many hospital rooms are actually not designed that way.
Parents can spend days, weeks, and even months for their child in the hospital, and they learn that little things mean a lot.
Some of our patients who are listed especially for heart transplant have a very long waiting period. And while we can't necessarily impact too much on that, we can at least provide for these children and their families a reasonable environment in which to live as normally as possible.
We have the Get Well Network, which is part of the room in Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, which allows patients to be able to order a meal. If we do have room service, believe it or not, so they can do that through their TV. They can play video games, they can watch movies, things to be able to help distract them.
Another way the hospital keeps families together is the Conine Clubhouse, an alternative to hotels offered free of charge.
Whether a single mom is here staying by herself, or it's a family with other children, or let's say grandparents, we can accommodate everybody.
Sure, you can go get a hotel, but that's an expense that your family doesn't really need at that point in time with your children being treated right here, and an inconvenience of time where you've got to go to the hotel and back to here, or here they can just walk out the door and be by their child's bedside in 5 minutes.
Almost as old as the Children's Hospital itself, the clubhouse is supported entirely by charitable donations. One early donor was Jeff Conine, known as Mr. Marlin to South Floridians.
When the clubhouse was built in 1997, we decided as a committee to start using the funds for our golf tournament to go towards the clubhouse. It was called the Visitors Clubhouse back then. So in 2003, when I came back to play for the Marlins in the World Series, the hospital bestowed, a great honor on our family to rename the Visitors Clubhouse the Conine Clubhouse because of our ongoing efforts to fund and operate this building.
Naming the clubhouse after a baseball player was the perfect complement to the athlete that started it all.
Funny story, I would go visit the kids with Joe DiMaggio. We'd go in the kids' rooms and say hello and pass out little things here or there, and the kids are 8, 9, 10 years old sometimes, and the Marlins were big at that time. So when I walked in, they're like, oh my gosh, that's Jeff Conine. So here they are asking me for my autograph, and the parents would, call timeout and say, Joey, you would rather have this man's autograph.
Karen represents just one of the thousands of families who have stayed at the Conine Clubhouse over the years. Her son, 21-year-old David, has cerebral palsy.
When we come in, it's not like a overnight trip. We're talking on average 5 days. This last visit is 3 weeks. We've been here 3 weeks. Joe DiMaggio, the Conine Clubhouse, it's our home away from home, and we can call them and say, hey, we need help. They're here. And we know that if it's possible, if there is a vacancy, they'll help us out.
The clubhouse offers lounge space, a playroom, computers, and even laundry facilities.
David knows that I'm right here, so if he needs me, he can tell his nurse to call me, and I can get right there. I'm just a moment away.
The fact that the Conine Clubhouse can provide them a home away from home gives the whole family a peace of mind. Not only the family, but the child that's in the hospital. When we have siblings that come with their parents and to stay at the Conine Clubhouse, out comes Sundance from my office, my therapy dog, and she greets the kids and they start laughing. And she is a Joe DiMaggio employee, and she is the Conine Clubhouse therapy dog.
It's all part of the hospital's commitment to keep families comfortable and together.
This is what it's all about. We've impacted people, we've impacted lives, and the first thing they say is thank you.
The one thing that I hear our families say most often is, I don't know what I would do without this facility, and that's the absolute truth. They really don't. And we know that we're making a difference.